For approval of the addenda, and late items.
Move Raymond.
Thank you. It's moved by Director Raymond, seconded by Director Stobart. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor. Opposed, if any, the item carries. Next item.
Item 3.1 are the draft Regional and Corporate Services Committee meeting minutes of October 15th, 2020.
Thank you. And that's moved by Director Ross, seconded by Director Hamilton. And any discussion on the minutes, errors, omissions? Seeing none, all in favor. Opposed, if any.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Next is 4.1. We have the financial plan 2020 to 2024 amendments. There's a motion for your consideration, and staff are on the line if you have any questions.
Thank you. And mover and a seconder.
So moved, Dickey.
Moved by Director Dickey, seconded by Director, or did I hear Director Pranger?
Yes.
Perfect. And any discussion or questions? I see Ms. Lounsborough is on the line. No, don't see any. So I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any. Item carries. Next item.
Next is 5.1.1. We have update on source separation bylaw. Again, there's a motion for your consideration, and staff are available to respond.
Thank you. It's moved by Director Ross, second by Director Robb. And any questions? Director Ross.
No questions, just a comment. I mean, I'm frustrated by the delay, but I completely understandable. Businesses out there, they're just trying to keep themselves and their patrons alive and well, and to add another thing onto them at this time, I totally understand why they couldn't. Although God love them, there are plenty of businesses out there that are doing their best to reduce their waste and reduce, reuse, and recycle. So I appreciate that. But you know, finding people at a time like this is just it's not appropriate. So I support the motion.
Yep. Director Dickey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just a question through to staff, if I could, as to whether the private haulers in our community are following the new regulations.
Ms. Kinnaman.
Sure. Actually, I see that Mr. Lilly has put his camera on, and he could answer that one.
Yeah, hi, through the chair. We have been in touch with all of the haulers, and I'm just going to pass this over to Jamie Benton, who can give an update. He was the one who was in contact with them.
Through the chair to Director Dickey. Thank you for the question. We have been in contact with all the local haulers, and they are trying to roll out the services. In some cases, some of the companies have lost some customers. So it seems that either they've swapped haulers or they're actually trying to take the recycling and to the depots themselves. We have received some complaints that they are mixing the compost and recycling with the garbage. In most cases, we think that this is where the residents are getting confused with the split trucks and are thinking it's all getting mixed together. So we are trying to contact the haulers to make sure that this message gets out that in fact it's not being mixed and that they are source separating the materials.
Thank you, staff, for the update.
Thank you, Lance and Jamie. Any other questions? Don't see any, so I'll call a question. Or is this just an update? Sorry.
No, there was a motion.
There's a motion. Sorry, I'll call a question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any item carries. Next item.
Next is 5.2.1. We have the Regional and Community Parks and Trails Summer Usage 2020. This is an information item, but always happy to answer any questions about our regional parks.
Thank you. Any questions for staff on this item? Director Dickey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to say that I'm happy to see that people are voting with their hiking boots in confidence in our outdoor assets that we are operating under the regional district. Thank you.
Completely agree. Excellent usage numbers. Any other questions?
I do have one, if I may, Chair
Please.
Lama. I'm just curious, is there any way to track how many of those people are from out of the area? Because I know we've been discovered out this way, so I'm just curious to know if there's any way to determine if they're from out of our regional district area.
Ms. Kinnaman, I saw Mr. Urban pop up there.
Sure. If, oh, there he is. I couldn't find him on the screen. Sure, right through to Mr. Urban.
All right, thank you. Through the chair to Director Hamilton. These counters don't interact with the public, but what we do know is through the outdoor economic impact analysis from last year that about 40% of people coming to recreate in the region are from outside the Fraser Valley. So we get in a high level indicator with that, and we can extrapolate out that towards our parks and trails.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this was an information item, so are there any more questions? Don't see any. Next item.
Next item is 5.2.2. We have modification of the Glen Valley and Mascot Trail Regional Parks Operating and Maintenance Agreement with the City of Abbotsford, and there is a motion for your consideration.
Thank
So
you.
moved.
Moved by Director Stobart and seconded by Director Blue. Any discussion, questions? Seeing none, all in favor, opposed if any, the item carries. Next item.
Next is 5.3.1. We have the 2021 Job Creation Partnership Program grant application.
Thank you. And it's moved by
Pranger.
Director Pranger, seconded by Director Popov. Any discussion? I just have a question. I guess this would be through to Mr. Urban. In the past, we had a little bit of a challenge with some of the participants in getting some participants, just because I think we were maybe doing too good of a job and training them up, and they were off and getting other jobs, which of course is the purpose of this great program. But you see any of that challenge on the horizon, or are we pretty certain we'll get good uptick on this?
Thank you for that question. You're right. In the past, there has been issues with retaining and bringing on participants to the program. The team runs about 5 participants for 6 months. So we go through the Works BC centers throughout our communities and deal with case managers. These are people that are unemployed, looking to change their life situation, make improvements, what have you. So I think in today's economy, it's probably a good opportunity to reach out again. I suspect that there'll be people that have been forced out of different markets and looking for career changes. So I expect next year will be better than previous years, just based on the current economic climate.
I'm glad you said that, because I think, an opportunity to work outside, of course, in this new COVID reality, I think there's probably, especially with some of the job losses, even though we've just seen some pretty, some improving job numbers, I think in the past number of days. What I'm hoping is that we're successful in this program. It's probably one of my favorite programs that we do here at the regional district. We get some amazing infrastructure and work done all around the region. And the bonus is we're also, building new skills and helping people with employment. So this is a fantastic program, and I think it's been a real model for what we're doing here. So wish you all of the luck, and I think this is a great one to perhaps brief our new MLAs who may not be as familiar with this across the region on how important it is. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed if any, item carries. Next item.
Moving down to reports by directors, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any reports by board directors?
May, Mr. Chair.
Please, Director Ingar.
Thank you. Yeah, just a comment. I noticed the huge amount of real estate, this transactions that are still transpiring here in the Lower Mainland. And I would have thought initially, as the pandemic broke out,
that we would see a totally different scenario. And I know we are in a privileged situation simply because we don't experience the huge calamity that they've got going on down south of the border. But the continuation of home sales implies to me that the only folks that are really taking a hit with employment during this pandemic are people that are on the front lines of dealing with say retail and whatnot. And those folks I really want to keep in all our minds, and I'm certainly keenly aware of the challenges that those people that are suffering because of this pandemic are perhaps not in this real estate market that we see being so buoyant. So just an observation that for us all to remain attentive to those that may be suffering unduly in this time, and anything that we can do to support them, I think is very important. Thank you.
Yeah, well said, Director Angar. I think, you know, we all knew that there was going to be a second wave, and we had been warned that the second wave was coming. And, you know, now I dare say we're right in the middle of this second wave. And certainly it was, there was a great variability in the amount, in how COVID was affecting the economy. And some industries I'd heard from, they were saying that they were having their best years ever. They were making the most money they've ever made. And then I have a lot of contact with folks who are struggling, as you said. And so there is this huge variability. So the thing that I've reminded the government of was that, you know, with any kind of targeted kind of support, is that they need to really focus on the folks that are falling through the cracks, and ensure that, you know, it's not really a time when you can be one size fits all, but you have to focus on those that are falling through the cracks and get those targeted supports directly to them. And then also a great reminder of supporting our essential service workers and our frontline health workers and folks who are, they didn't have a reprieve over the summer like we all kind of did, you know, before this second wave. Everybody's been working so hard. And, you know, I guess just to add to your comments, getting reports yesterday and some phone calls from folks talking about the panic seems to be ramping up again, and people are starting to, you know, hit the grocery stores and raid the shelves, and, you know, and I think it's, again, we have to circle back and appeal for that calm, and really, you know, the essential service workers and the grocery stores, and the food's going to be there, the toilet paper is going to stay on the shelves. So let's just be calm and take our turns and be methodical about this, and we'll get through it. So,
Chair Lum,
yes, please, Director Prager.
are you going to be on the call this afternoon with the ministers and Dr. Bonnie Henry?
I will be, yes, and I've got my list from staff that we're working on right now. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And any other comments from directors? I'll just make a quick one then. I just ask support from the board to send some letters of congratulations and thank yous out to our new MLAs across the region, as well as our outgoing MLAs. So we've had some people that were newly elected, and we've had some people incumbents that won't be returning to the legislature, and I think we owe them a thank you for their many years of hard work. And to the people that are new in the role, we'd like to congratulate them and offer you know, our support and assistance in understanding some of the key issues here at the Fraser Valley Regional District, and areas that we're going to be advocating on, and as they move into Victoria, things that they can expect to hear from us. So if I could get some support to send those letters out. Seconded. Director Ross and Director Pranger. And Director Ross, did you have a question as well or a comment?
No, just support that. Just
Okay.
wanted to say thank you to you as well for stepping out and running to represent us. Well done.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah, no, we'll like I said, I'll let the ink dry a little bit before I give the to-do list over to the folks and remind them of all the promises that they made to us over the election period. Don't see any other comments, so I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any of the item carries. Next item.
Okay, moving down to public question period for items relevant to the agenda. We had advertised for email submissions to be made at info@fvrd.ca, as well as provided the opportunity for members of the public to attend via Zoom. And I have been advised that we did not receive any submissions and we do not have any members of the public on the line.
Okay, so we'll go to the next item.
Looking for a resolution to close the meeting, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. That's moved. Oh, Director Facio is on the line here. Okay, was just about to say Director Facio. No, it's moved by Director Rob and seconded by Director Dickey, even though I think he was just scratching his face, but that's okay. All in favor, opposed, if any, the item carries. And we'll move into close. Do you need a second?
Yeah, just give us a couple seconds to